Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. I'm absolutely thrilled to be your guide today as we tackle something incredibly useful and honestly, just a lot of fun. Today, we're playing the comparing game. Now, if you're a Spanish speaker learning English, you already know that translating directly in your head, it can get you into a bit of trouble sometimes. So, we're going to level up your English grammar by looking at exactly how we compare things, from everyday objects right up to the absolute extremes. We're going to master comparatives and superlatives, and we'll do it together, step by step. Let's get into it. So here is the quick game plan for today. We'll start with level 1, the game begins. Then level 2 covers the rules for comparing. Level 3 is our boss stage, the absolute best. Level 4 is the tiebreaker, when things are equal. Level 5 brings in stories and real examples. And finally, level 6 is your final challenge. All right, ready to play? Okay, level 1, the game begins. Let's jump straight into our first real-world comparison. Get those brains warmed up because you have to make a choice right off the bat. So, perros o gatos? Dogs or cats? I mean, it's literally the ultimate debate, right? If you had to choose right now, which is the better pet? Our practice sentence here is, I think dogs are better. Now, in Spanish, you would naturally say, creo que los perros son mejores. But notice that word better in English. We didn't say more good, did we? Nope, we changed the word entirely. And that is the absolute heart of the comparing game. We are constantly weighing two things against each other in our daily lives. All right, moving on to level 2, rules for comparing things. Because to play the game right, we need to know the rules. So let's look at the foundations of comparing two different things in English. The single most important rule you need to remember is that English treats short words and long words very differently. It's like two separate paths. On the left, we have the word taller. Tall is a short word, just one single syllable. For these palabras cortas, we just add ER at the end. Tall becomes taller. Fast becomes faster. Easy, right? But look on the right at more talkative. Talkative is a long word. For palabras largas, we do not add letters to the end. Instead, we just drop the word more right before it. Modern becomes more modern. Expensive becomes more expensive. So the absolutely crucial point here is this. Do not fall into the direct translation trap. I know, in Spanish, you use más for pretty much everything. Más alto, más moderno, más abrigada. But in English, you cannot just use more for everything. If you're out shopping for a winter jacket and you want to say, más abrigada, well, because warm is a short word, you must say warmer. Please, whatever you do, do not say more warm. That is literally the fastest way to lose a life in the comparing game. Remember, short words get the ER, long words get the more. Let's actually see how this works in the real world. We're comparing two brothers here, Leo and Tom. Leo is 45 years old and 1.90 meters tall. Tom is 40 and 1.70 meters. So using our short word rule, Leo is older and taller. Tom is younger and shorter. Simple enough. Now let's look at their cars and their personalities. Leo's car is faster, short word, but it's also more expensive, long word. Leo is quieter, short word, but Tom is more talkative, long word. You see how perfectly that rule applies every single time? Boom! Excellent work. You just passed level 2. Now we're leveling up to the boss stage. Level 3, the absolute best. This is where we stop comparing just two things and learn how to declare the ultimate, undisputed champion. We call these superlatives. This literally means the absolute best. En Español, usamos esto para decir que algo es lo máximo. It's not just taller than someone else, it is the tallest out of everyone. It's the peak, the top of the mountain, the absolute limit of that description. There's nowhere else to go. So to build a superlative, we use a rule that's actually very similar to our comparatives. For our champion short words, instead of adding ER, we add EST, and we always put the in front. Small becomes the smallest. Cold becomes the coldest. And for our long words, instead of more, we use the most. Famous becomes the most famous. Beautiful becomes the most beautiful. It's a really simple structural shift, but it completely changes the scale of what you're talking about. Let's rapid fire some world records to really lock this pattern into your brain. Ready? The cheetah is the fastest land animal. The blue whale is the biggest animal in the sea. Mount Everest is the highest mountain. And, of course, pivoting to food, bandeja paisa is the most delicious dish. Now, I know my Colombian viewers are cheering right now, and frankly, it is incredibly hard to debate a plate that gives you beans, rice, chicharrón, and plantains all at exactly the same time. It truly is the most delicious. All right, moving to level 4, when things are equal. We've talked about what happens when one thing is better and what happens when something is the absolute best. But what if there's no winner? Welcome to the tie-breaking. Let me ask you directly. ¿Qué pasa cuando dos cosas son iguales? What actually happens when two things are exactly equal? How do we express that we're completely tied without confusing whoever is listening to us? Well, we use the formula of equality. It's simple. As plus your word plus as. Check out this example. Victoria is as beautiful as Vancouver. In Español, Victoria es tan bella como Vancouver. It's a perfectly balanced scale. The train is as fast as the bus. You literally just drop the adjective right in the middle of those two as words. And the best part? It doesn't matter if it's a short word or a long word here. The formula stays exactly the same. But wait, there is a notorious sticking point here for Spanish speakers that we absolutely must address. When we talk about quantities being equal, we have to split them into uncountable and countable nouns. If you cannot physically count the item, like money, water, or time, you must use as much as. For example, I have as much money as you. But if you can count the items individually, like people, presents, or CDs, you have to use as many as. I have as many presents as you. In Spanish, you might just use tanto or tantos and not think twice about it. But in English, mixing up much and many is a super common glitch. Just ask yourself, can I count this on my fingers? If the answer is yes, use many. You're doing fantastic. Now let's hit level 5, stories and real examples. Because rules are great, sure, but seeing them all blend together in a story is how you actually become fluent. Let's look at a fun sci-fi story from our sources about Pip the robot in Neon City. Listen closely to the descriptive words as we review his adventure. Pip finds out that the city is noisier and more exciting than the forest. He sees the tallest buildings. The flying cars there are faster and more expensive. Then Pip meets Max, who is the oldest robot. Max isn't as fast as Pip, but he is the wisest. Later on, Pip finds water that is colder than a fridge, and he feels as cool as a cucumber. Do you see how comparatives, superlatives, and our tiebreaker equality phrases seamlessly build together to create a really descriptive, vivid story? It's like puzzle pieces clicking into place. And just like that, level 6, your final challenge. We've reached the final stage of the game. This is where I hand the controls over to you. It's time to apply everything you've learned today. So here is your final challenge. Whistler or Mexico? I want you to imagine you have to convince your family which vacation is the absolute best. Will you tell them Mexico is warmer, cheaper, and the most relaxing? Or will you argue that Whistler is more exciting and has the most beautiful snow? Practice using words like colder, cheaper, or the most fun right now. Because the comparing game, it never really ends. We play it every single day. So keep practicing, keep comparing, and I will see you in the next explainer.